Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome to week 8 of the GPC season 4. Yeah, I can never remember the seasons, but week 8 and week 9 are the two most important weeks of the season. And why is that? Because all of the top teams are going to play each other in these next 2 weeks, which is absolutely insane. So right now, this week I'm going to be taking on Robin and his Austin Tauros, or Psychic Metacham on YouTube or something like that. Check him out. He's a cool dude, really cool dude. I like him a lot. But he is sitting in second place right now, and he is, I believe, 6-1, and we are 5-2. He has plus 18 differential, and we have a plus 14 or 15, I forget which one. But basically this game, if I win, which I have to win, if I don't win this game, I have no chance of making the playoffs. So I have to win this game. It's a must win. And if I win this game, I can either get into second place or put myself into a position where I have to win next week and I'm guaranteed a playoff spot. So that's what I'm going for. These next 2 weeks are going to be insane because right now Pierre is in first, Robin is in second, and Bluesy and I are in third and fourth place. So these next 2 weeks are going to be huge because I play Robin this week, and next week I'm going to play Bluesy, and Robin is going to play Pierre. So these next 2 weeks are going to be insane. And looking at Robin's team, I really don't like my matchup, because he has Mega Venusaur, Arcanine, Togekiss, Crocodile, Blastoise, Kyurem, Uxie, Magneton, Armaldo, Mienshao, Floatzel, and Pineco. Obviously, the Pineco is kind of a meme, but I did think they actually had a chance to be brought against me. So, why do I not like my matchup? He has so many Pokemon, he has so many good Pokemon against my team, and he has so much bulk on his team that it's really going to be difficult to break a team he has. So, huge threat to my team, the Mega Venusaur, Arcanine, Blastoise, Firewater, Grasscore, I was definitely expecting because they were all very good against my team and they did specific rolls against me. I expected Uxie because it was likely his only switch into Nidoqueen, which is one of my ways to win this game. I was very afraid of Crocodile, though I knew there's a good chance he wouldn't bring it because it gets hard-walled by Tangrowth. And also it gets beat by stuff like Heracross and Thundurus and Lopunny and Manphy, so it was threatening, but he didn't bring it, but I still had to prep for it because it was threatening since it could outrun some stuff, mainly Nidoqueen, and kill it. I was pretty sure Blastoise was coming. Well, let's just go over everything. So first of all, I knew that Mega Venusaur and Arcanine were coming. That's his main defensive core, and I thought either he was going to run a very offensive team, or more likely he was going to run a very defensive team because he has checks to everything on my team on his roster, which is pretty insane since I have the most powerful offensive team in the league in my opinion. So I thought Mega Venusaur and Arcanine were coming. Arcanine is a really good stop to Megalop and to Heracross, and Mega Venusaur just stops stuff in general and it's fat and annoying. I was scared of Togekiss. I didn't think he'd bring it though, because I have stuff that kind of beats it in Thundy and P2 and Manaphy potentially, and also Nidoqueen, but it was still a threat that I had to prep for. Crocodile, like I said, it was a threat and I had to prep for it, even though it was unlikely he'd bring it. Blastoise, if he brought it, I knew was going to be Assault Vest to take on my Nidoqueen. I was pretty damn sure that that's the only reason he would bring it. Kyurem is a huge threat to my team. It's a huge threat to my team. So I really had to make a plan to take that on. And it was just, in my opinion, it was the biggest threat to my team along with Mienshao. Uxie was another thing that I thought would probably come because it can stop Megalop, it can stop Nidoqueen, it can take hits from Meloetta, and it can take hits from Thundy. It's his only thing on his roster that can take hits from Meloetta, so I thought he kind of had to bring it, and if he didn't, then Meloetta would just kind of run over his team, unless you want to check it offensively, but if he wanted to do that, then he'd probably bring an offensive team. Magneton, I wasn't really thinking would come, but if it was, I was positive they would be Choice Scarfed because I have a Manaphy and he would want a reliable way to revenge kill that thing so it can't Tail Blow Sweep him. and it's okay. It doesn't really break my defensive core that great, and it doesn't outspeed Mega Lop if I'm fast, and it gets hardwalled by Thunder. So it was iffy. I didn't think it would come. Armaldo, I didn't really think it would come, but I did recognize that it would be very strong against my P2 Tangrowth core, so I knew I had to bring something else if he brought it so that I wouldn't get blown back by it, because he has used Armaldo very effectively. Mienshao, huge threat to my team. I have a lot of fighting resist, but it's just really strong and it outpaces a good portion of my team, so it was scary, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be Life Orb or Choice Scarf. Those were the two most likely things. Floatzel, I didn't really think would be coming because P2 beats it, Tangrowth can beat it depending on its set, and Manaphy can beat it, and I have stuff that just, it's not that great against my team. And Pineco, I did think he could potentially bring it as a hazard setter, suicide thing because I don't have hazard removal, but I really couldn't dedicate anything to stop that thing, but I just wasn't super afraid of it since it'd be more likely he'd want that slot for something else, because I'm sure he needs a lot of Pokemon if he wants to check my team effectively. So the team that I was most likely predicting was Mega Venusaur, Arcanine, Kyurem, Uxie, and either Mienshao or Crocodile or something like that. So let's hop into the team I brought to combat that. And the first thing, 6 I brought to this game, which I only have 8 Mon, so it's kind of easy to decide, but building this team was not easy. I had to take a couple cracks at it, and I had to think about this a lot because I really need to put my best effort into this team because this game is so important. So the first Mon, I did it again. 6 Mons I'm bringing: Meloetta, Thundee, Heracross, Nidoqueen, Manaphy, and Tangrowth. And I actually really love my nicknames for this week. They're pretty nice nicknames in my opinion. Unfortunately, Meloetta, its shiny form is blue. It's got a blue shiny, but you can't use it because it's never been released anywhere. So I couldn't have a mono blue team, which absolutely sucks. I was so close to having a mono blue team because mono blue always wins, but yeah. First thing I brought was Drake, my Meloetta, and Meloetta is so good against his team. It is so good against his team because it's really great at breaking down that Fire, Water, Grass core of Arcanine, Venusaur, and Blastoise because I have the coverage and the power to break all of those things down, and it's just a great check to that, and it just hits his team very, very hard. So the final set that I ended up bringing was Choice Scarf Meloetta with Serene Grace, of course, U-Turn, Psychic, Focus Blast, and Thunderbolt, 80 in HP, 252 special attack, and 176 speed with the Timid nature. Now that speed is letting me outrun, I forget what I'm supposed to outrun with it. It's probably for Togekiss. I think it's for max speed Togekiss. That's most likely what it's for. I can't remember exactly, but that looks about, yeah, it's for Togekiss. Because I didn't want to get beaten up by a Scarf Togekiss, because that would be less than ideal. So the coverage of Psychic, Focus Blast, and Thunderbolt hits his team really, really hard. His only switch into this is Uxie, and while I could have had Shadow Ball in this thing, I thought that U-Turn was going to be much more helpful because having momentum against a bulky team is so helpful, and even if I do have Shadow Ball, it's not going to be doing that much to Uxie, and it's just going to drain a lot of momentum because he can go into something like Crocodile if he brought it afterwards and Pursuit Trap me. And because he had Crook and Mienshao, I very heavily considered running Colbur Berry, and up to the very last minutes before this match, I was like, should I change it to Colbur Berry? Because in practice, the Scarf didn't do so well against a team with Scarf Mienshao, but then I just told myself, no, never, ever, 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 ever change things right before the match. It's never going to work out. So there's a tip for you kids. Never change things last minute. And Choice Scarf, I still think, is the best item I possibly could have put on this thing. Oh, I forgot to zero out its attack. Oops. Because I already played this game. He doesn't have a foul play user, so it's fine. Well, I guess Uxie, but it's whatever. So yeah, Psychic hits his team very hard, Focus Blast hits the Crocodile, it hits the Magneton, and it hits the Kyurem, all for super effective, and Thunderbolt is going to be able to hit the Blastoise and the Togekiss and Floatzel for super effective damage. Now, why did I bring Scarf? Because I don't think he's going to expect Scarf, and even if he does, this thing is still very effective. Because if he doesn't bring a Scarf Mienshao, or a Scarfed Floatzel, or any other unlikely Scarfer, then nothing on his team outspeeds me. And if he brings a fat team with only a couple attackers, then this thing is going to be able to deal well with his attackers. Psychic does a ton to Mega Venusaur, which is huge because my team is pretty weak to Mega Venusaur. It's just, it's a good mon. You can't deny that Mega Venusaur is a good mon. But yeah, this thing definitely a late game cleaner or a wall breaker or something. The ideal thing is if he's not scarfed on a Mienshao or a Crook or Kyurem or something like that, I can get a surprise kill with a Psychic or Focus Blast or whatever and put myself in a very, very good spot. Also, this thing can just like force out mons that don't want to take a Psychic, and I can gain initiative with U-turn, which is all really helpful stuff. So I just saw that this thing would be very, very helpful against the majority of his team. Next, I got my very strong Burb, my Thundurus T, and this thing is the win condition this game. So I'm packing the Yachi Berry Thundurus with Agility, Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Focus Blast, 48 in HP, 252 special attack, and 208 speed Timid. I considered modest because, you know, agility and stuff, but I really wasn't comfortable with letting stuff like Kyurem and Crocodile outspeed me if they were running max speed, because those things are threats, and hitting it with a Focus Blast and not having to rely on setting up an agility is nice, because agility is there if his team is weakened late game. He has stuff that's faster than me. I click the agility button, hopefully don't die or get poisoned to something, because I think the most likely thing I could set up on would be Mega Venu, because I can take a Sludge Bomb. Not very well, but I can take it. But this thing is the win condition because Psychic, T-Bolt, Focus Blast, just like same coverage as Meloetta, hits his team very, very hard. And if his team's weakened and I get the agility up, it's game over because he has nothing that can outspeed it. No Scarfer can possibly outspeed it. He has priority with like Floatzel and Fake Out from Mienshao, but I have lots of things that can chew priority well, and this thing was just going to put in a lot of work and make sure that I wouldn't get swept by something like Scarf, High Jump Kick, as long as I keep this thing healthy, because I could set up on a Scarf, High Jump Kick from Mienshao. So yeah, this thing just really good. T-Bolt, strong stab, he doesn't have a lot of electric resist, and then Psychic and Focus Blast hit the things that do resist electric, so that's pretty hot. And yeah, speed's just there to outrun a max speed Kyurem. So the next thing, I got my Punchy Bug, which is my Heracross, and I'm packing the Assault Vest Heracross. And I really had to debate on what set Heracross I was going to bring. Originally, I had a different set, but then looking back at my team, I noticed I had absolutely no switch-ins for Mega Venusaur, and having no switch-ins to Mega Venusaur is not something you ever want to do, because it's so fat and it gets in the, and it can just get in the game so often that it can just be, and it's strong too. That's just not something that you want to allow free hits off of. And my best thing that's not Porygon 2 to take a hit from that thing is my Heracross, because I resist Giga Drain and I don't take very much from a Sludge Bomb. So I'm packing max 232 HP, max attack Adamant, and 24 in speed just to avoid speed creeps and such, and close combat Stone Edge Mega Horn knockoff. So yeah, this thing is my switch in to Mega Venusaur, because that thing is a problem, and this, I still recognize that this is not the best switch into Mega Venusaur, but it can take a hit, and if I can get poisoned on the Sludge Bomb, then I'm going to be dealing out a ton of damage with Guts boosted hits, and I do have the coverage to hit, I believe, everything on his team neutral or super effectively. The only things that don't take super effective damage are Venusaur and Blastoise and Mienshao and Floatzel, all of which are neutral to a stab, close combat, or Mega Horn, which are pretty spicy. So yeah, I needed this thing for Venusaur because that thing would just run over my team, and Robin plays a mean Mega Venusaur. So I just could not allow that to happen. Originally, it was an SD set, but I think this was just so important because I needed a Mega Venusaur check. And yeah. So next thing, I've got one of my most important offensive members, which is my Pointy Doggo Nidoqueen. So you know what Nidoqueen does. It's strong and it's strong. It's very, very strong. So I'm running Life Orb, Sheer Force with Stealth Rock, Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and here's the gimmick, Super Fang. Why am I running Super Fang? Because he has things that can easily take my dual stab coverage, and those things would be Specially Defensive Uxie, which just shrugs those off, and Assault Vested Blastoise. And now I know he used Assault Vest Blastoise to check Landorus Incarnate early in the season, and I really think that he's going to bring that because it's pretty strong against my team, and it's also a nice check to stuff like Manaphy, and it can also like do Mirror Coat shenanigans because I have a lot of special attackers on my team. So Super Fang is going to be very helpful because it instantly takes off half of their health, and that is huge. Also, Stealth Rock is great. He only has his 2 ways to get rid of hazards are weak to rocks, and neither of which I expect to come to the game. And Nidoqueen's pretty good against both of them, not so much against Armaldo if he's Assault Vest because it can chew stuff and then murder me with Earthquake, but this thing hits his team so hard, and Super Fang is there as extra insurance so that I can get that chip damage off on Blastoise and Uxie, which I very much expected to come. So I'll go over my spread, 168 in HP, max special attack modest, and 88 in speed. The speed's going to creep. It's going to do a significant creep on Mega Venusaur because I did not want to let that thing be able to heal up before I hit it, because I really need a way to hurt that Venusaur because it's such a problem to my team. And yeah, this thing is just going to do a lot of damage against his team because it's a Nidoqueen and it's stupid strong. I love Nidoqueen, it's so good. And there's a reason I bring it to every single game. Also because I have 8 Mons and it's my only good Stealth Rocker. Well, it's my only Stealth Rocker, by the way. Yeah. Super important member. I thought about other moves, but this is the 4 best moves that I could put on this thing because Super Fang I think is better than running like Shadow Ball or Thunderbolt because I can't hit them both, and those 2 utility moves are much better than 4 attacks. Yeah, so next thing I got my little fucker, my Manaphy, and this thing is really important to pivot around this team. So I'm running lefties with Hydration, Scald, U-Turn, Rest, Rain Dance, max HP, 84 in defense, and 172 speed with the Timid Nature. So this is a weird spread. First of all, I thought that Tailglow Manaphy would be pretty good in this matchup, but I knew he was going to be prepared for it, and he has several things that can either take a hit and fire back at me, or outspeed me with a Scarf, or just hit me really hard and outspeed me. So I didn't like that. And also, I noticed my team lacked any switch-ins to Arcanine. It had no real good switch-ins to stuff like Armaldo, which is kind of silly, but it's a nice check to Crocodile, and it can switch in on Uxie fairly easily since I don't care about getting Toxic or anything of the sort, and it can take a high jump kick. It's not a good switch in to Mienshao because it still gets to it KO'd, but it can take one and fire off a Scald, and this thing's going to get me momentum and spread burns and spread stuff and be annoying, and yeah. I needed it to check stuff, and it also gave me a nice pivot because pivots are going to be really helpful so that I can drop in my strong threats like Nidoqueen and Thundurus and Heracross and Meloetta freely instead of having to take damage. The spread here is the speed's there to outspeed max speed Kyurem, because if he Dracos me, I can live that, and I can Rest, Rain Dance, and all that kind of stuff, and make sure that it's not as huge of a problem, because Kyurem is a problem. And it's also this thing, yeah, nice check to Crook, because I outspeed it and stuff and things. Lastly, still, I am very, very weak to Kyurem, insanely weak to Kyurem. I have no switch-ins, at all. I couldn't bring Porygon 2 because his team matches up really well against Porygon 2. So lastly, I got Shoggoth, and I am very proud of this set. Shoggoth, my Assault Vest Tangrowth, and I also love that nickname. Assault Vest Regenerator with Endeavor, Giga Drain, Knockoff, and Infestation, max HP, 20 defense, 236 special defense with the Sassy Nature. So this thing is my emergency oh shit check, and kind of a lure to get a fuck ton of damage off onto Mega Venusaur and onto Kyurem. Because what this spread does is it will live a Choice Specs Timid Ice Beam from Kyurem 100% of the time, and afterwards I can hit it with an Endeavor, switch out to Manaphy, and kill it with a Scald. And that's amazing. This thing also can take 2 hits, 2 Sludge Bombs from a non-offensive Mega Venusaur, and it can easily take 1 Sludge Bomb from an offensive one. Infestation's there to catch either the Kyurem or the Mega Venusaur, most likely on the switch, and get damage off and force it so they can't pull a double switch on me into something, which is also very, very nice because it's denying him the chance to get momentum. And also, if I hit the Kyurem with an Infestation on the switch and it goes for an Ice Beam, I hit Endeavor and it brings it down to the point where Infestation kills it, that's perfect. That gets rid of the biggest threat to my team, and I really wanted that. Giga Drain and Knockoff were my things of choice. Knockoff's really, really nice because it just gets rid of items and it makes it so his team is less effective at doing their job. And of course that Infestation is really great for the Mega Venusaur because it makes it so it can't double out, and it gets that damage so that it is forced to heal up a little more, and I can Endeavor it if it's getting me low and things, albeit I can't really hurt it that much. I think it's a pretty cool bring because it's going to get chip damage on the Venusaur and make it so it's not spamming Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain everywhere, because I'm going to have to force it to heal with Infestation and Endeavor. So that's 21 minutes gone by, and I really thought this was important because this team needed a lot of explanation, and this game is so important that I don't care. So let's get into the match. And as you can see, the 6 he brought are Magneton, Arcanine, Blastoise, Mienshao, Mega Venusaur, and Uxie. First of all, no Kyurem. Huge! I predicted all 5 of these guys, and instead of Kyurem, he brought Magneton. That is absolutely fine. I am so happy to not see Kyurem. I was also pretty happy to not see stuff like Togekiss and Crocodile, and basically everything had a good chance to come against me. So I'm definitely happy with the 6 he brought because I am well prepared for them. So now I have to remember what I led off with. Yeah, I'm going to lead off with Tangrowth because as a nice matchup, most likely leads would be Uxie or Mienshao or Magneton, I thought. So Tangrowth matched up pretty well against all of those, and let's just get into it. So I'm going to lead off with Shoggoth, love this nickname, and he's going to go with Uxie. So this is perfect. I'm going to click Knockoff and weaken this thing because this is obviously his best check to my Meloetta. So I'm going to knock it off, and he shows Culver Berry. That's great. I don't know exactly what he had Culver for because I don't really have strong Dark on my team, but it's there regardless. I guess for Thundy, probably if I had Dark Pulse, but that's fine. Its item is gone, and I can start willing it down. And since he doesn't have leftovers, that means he can't get any passive recovery, which is really nice because I need this thing to get whittled before I can spam Psychic with Meloetta, because since he didn't bring Crook, he has no Psychic immunities, which is huge. So Meloetta is looking very strong. Now, I'm just going to click Infestation here because... Oh, wait, no, never mind. I'm going to go into my Manaphy here because... let's just turn this to slow, because I did not want my Tangrowth getting Toxic, because if he had Toxic, I would be screwed because I need Tangrowth to pivot on his team. So he's going to go into Venusaur, and I'm going to get a little lefties back. I don't want to show off U-turn just yet, I don't think, right? So I'm going to switch out and go into my switch-in, which is Heracross. So I'm going to take the Rocks damage, and I'm going to take a Sludge Bomb. Holy shit, that's way too slow. It's fine, because I can talk about things while it's still going. So he's going to Giga Drain, which is great, and I'm just going to Calc here. And based off of that damage, he is defensive, which is good to know. And I'm going to go right for the Mega Horn because I just wanted to scout around. I guess Stonehenge would have been my better play, but I didn't really want him staying in and being annoying. So I'm going to go for the Mega Horn, as he does show that Arcanine was a switch-in. I anticipated that, and I'm going to take the Rocky Helmet. So now I have good knowledge, and this is kind of okay. Not great since Heracross took a lot of damage, but I have a good switch into defensive Arcanine, a really good switch into defensive Arcanine in my Manaphy, so I can just go into it and fire off some Scalds because I really, really want to burn that Mega Venusaur. That would be so helpful for my team. So he's going to go for the Flare Blitz, that's fine. I'm guessing he's just Willow, Flare Blitz, E-Speed, and Morning Sun. I didn't really think that defensive Arcanine's Wild Charge would be necessary against me. So I'm going to fire off a Scald, because I want to burn this thing so badly. I really want to burn this. I'm going to Scald, it doesn't do much, and here there's no way he's going to click the Grass move, so I'm going to Scald again, because I want to get this thing burned so fucking badly. And also Manaphy is a little more expendable since he doesn't have Kyurem or Crocodile, which were two of the things that I really wanted this thing to check. So unfortunately I don't get the Scald burn, and he's going to get the Sludge Bomb Poison on me, which is a little lame because now that means my Manaphy is not going to be able to easily heal up. So here I'm just going to U-turn out and I think go into Tangrowth. Oh no, I'm going to go into, it's either Tangrowth or Nidoqueen. I have to do a ton of pivoting around this thing. So I'm going to go into my Nidoqueen because since he's not offensive, Giga Drain's not going to be doing that much. And he is just going to go for the Sludge Bomb, anticipating my Heracross because Sludge would just kill my Manaphy anyways. So I'm going to just go for the Super Fang because Blastoise or Uxie is switching in. There's no doubt in my mind that it was, and I catch the Blastoise. I don't see Leftovers recovery. That thing is most certainly Assault Vest, as I predicted. So now I'm going to go into Shoggoth because I have a very easy switch into this thing, which is my Tangrowth, as he's going to Scald, and he's not going to burn me, which is really, really nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and click Infestation, as I know Venusaur is going to come out, and I can get a little more chip damage off on this thing. Infestation does nothing, but the damage that falls, it's going to put it around a point where it's going to want to heal. So now I'm just going to switch out and I think go into, no, I'm going to go into Meloetta so that I can get something going, because there's no way he's going to want to leave this thing in on a Psychic, risking me to be Specs and him dying, because that would be less than ideal. And he does have Uxie, which can just chew a Psychic, so he's going to Synthesis, which is fine, as now I got what I wanted, and now I'm going to be able to U-turn on out and get some more damage on this Uxie, as that is what he goes into. So I'm going to be able to just click U-turn and get a free switch into whatever I want, which I believe is my Manaphy, because I don't really like anything to switch into this, and I'm just going to go for the rest here. I guess I could have gone for Scald and tried to just burn him since Manaphy's going to die anyways, but rest sounded okay because I'm not afraid of anything setting up on me, and in the off chance he didn't try and U-turn, then I would have been able to burn a turn of sleep and try to wake up a little bit. But now Manaphy's at full, so I still have a switch into Arcanine, which is fine, and now he's going to go into Venusaur. And I think I'm going to I go into either Tangrowth or Nidoqueen on this. I can't remember because this game was long. But yeah, I'm going to go into Tangrowth because I know Giga Drain's coming my way. And he's actually going to go for the Leaf Storm, which is surprising. So now I've seen Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb, and Synthesis. So I know his whole set. No Sleep Powder, which is really nice because I was kind of afraid of Sleep Powder, as it was really annoying in practice. But that's fine because now I can double or something, or I don't know. No, I'm gonna go for the knockoff here because he's not gonna stay. I didn't think he was going to stay in, and I'm going to get a crit knockoff on this Uxie, which is actually really nice for me because now this Uxie can get 2-hit KO'd by a Psychic after rocks if I can get those up, and that's just weakening the thing even more from Meloetta, so that's really, really nice. So now I know he's just going to U-turn. He hasn't shown Toxic. If he hadn't shown it yet, then he doesn't have it. So here I'm just going to go ahead and click Infestation, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, so I'm going to infest the Venusaur and force it to attack me, which is cool, because now I believe here is where I'm going to go for the Endeavor. As he's going to go for the Giga Drain, not expecting me to stay in. It's fine, since he's not offensive, Sludge Bomb couldn't have killed me. Obviously a very risky thing because had he poisoned me, my thing would have died, but I really felt like I needed it to make this play to get something going for me. So here I'm going to be able to go for the Endeavor and get off a lot of damage off on this thing. Of course, if Tangrowth had less HP, it would have done more, but that's fine. His Tangrowth is very weak because Endeavor plus Infestation is doing what it's supposed to do. Now I'm going to switch out and get my health back and go into my Nidoqueen, as he is going to actually go for the Sludge Bomb again, which was surprising to me. Now here, this was a toss-up for me. I could just kill this thing, and he doesn't have a good switch-in because I weakened both of his switch-ins to it, or I could get up Stealth Rock. And this may seem a little questionable, but I'm going to go in for the Stealth Rock and allow him to heal up. Obviously, it would have been nice to let this thing die, or to kill this thing, but I really, really wanted Stealth Rock because that Arcanine is a problem against my team, and I wanted to punish all of his switch-ins, and Stealth Rocks are going to be very important to put things in range of Meloetta and stuff and things. So I'm still okay with this, honestly, because I do have my switch-ins to this guy, kind of. And now I'm just going to go ahead and switch out. I want to keep my Nidoqueen healthy for the Magneton and the Mienshao, and I'm just going to go into my Heracross as he's going to go for the Leaf Storm. It doesn't do anything at all, and now I'm going to click Stone Edge because Arcanine is the likely switch-in, and I want to get damage off on this thing so that it can't heal up and be annoying anymore. So he's going to go into it, intimidate me, and I'm going to fire off these Stone Edge, I'm going to land it, and I'm going to crit him. And that is huge, because this thing dies where it would have not died elsewhere, and he said that an extreme speed would have killed me. I wasn't outspeeding this thing anyway, so I probably would have switched into Manaphy, but which would have still been okay because I would have been able to burn a turn of sleep and we would have just rinse repeated some stuff. But I'm not sure how this would have played out if I didn't kill him. But obviously killing the Arcanine is super duper helpful because now this thing's dead, and basically my thing is pretty weakened, but I still want to keep Hera for Death Fodder, and it can also be helpful because it still can switch into a Scald from Blastoise and do stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and fodder off Manaphy here and see what kind of set this is, as he shows that he's Fake Out. So that's perfect. So now I can see how I can win this game now. I can see that Meloetta can spam Psychic. Once I get more damage off on the Magneton and a little more damage off on the Blastoise, Meloetta can spam Psychic and win the game since he is not Scarf Mienshao. That is amazing for me. Amazing knowledge, because every time now that I bring in Meloetta, it gets a kill unless he is defensive Magneton. So I'm just going to let my thing die. I can't wake up. I guess he could miss a high jump kick, which would be rad for me, but I don't need any more hacks in this game since I already critted his Arcanine. So I'm just going to let Manaphy die, as he is going to go for the knockoff or U-turn, I forget which. He's going to go for the U-turn and kill me, which is okay. It didn't really matter. I'm just going to get switch initiative regardless, so it was relevant what he went for there. But now he is going to drop into his Venusaur, and here I believe that I'm going to go into Thundurus. No, I'm going to go into Meloetta, just kidding. And I'm going to start spamming Psychic because he does not have anything that can take two of those unless that's an Eviolite Magneton, which I don't think it will be, since now that he's not, now that it's been shown that he's not Scarf Mienshao, I'm positive, almost positive, that that's going to be a Scarf Magneton. So that's cool. I'm going to click Psychic twice and kill his Uxie, which is perfect. That crit knockoff earlier really helped me out, but it's gone, and now he's going to bring in his Magneton, and I don't want to let my Meloetta get weakened because I want it to be able to take a Fake Out from Mienshao comfortably, as I'm just going to go into this thing because it's a really good switch in, as he's going to go for the Flash Cannon, and it does 31, and I kind of fucked up with my calcs here because I forgot that Analytic was a thing, so I thought that he was Specs, and this was not very smart on my part because that's an Analytic Scarf thing, by the way. But now I'm going to go into my Thundurus here, as he's going to go out into his Venusaur. Yeah, as I thought he was Specs, and I figured that either he wasn't going to stay in, or it was likely he'd go into Venusaur, so I can get in my Thundurus and start doing damage to his team. And I'm going to go for the Psychic here, and I thought this thing was probably going to be specially defensive just based on how his team is, so that it can take a hit better from stuff like Nidoqueen and this guy. So I'm going to do a lot with Psychic, 48, and basically he can't heal up against me at all, which is cool. And I considered going for the Agility, but I knew that Sludge Bomb was going to do a lot, and I knew that I couldn't one-shot it with Psychic from where I was, and I'd get 2-hit KO'd with Sludge Bomb. So he's going to Sludge Bomb. It does a ton, and I'm fortunately not going to get poisoned, as I'm going to click Psychic again as he goes out into his Magneton. Now here I think he's Specs, as I'm going to go for the Psychic. It does a lot. That does a lot. And I'm going to click Focus Blast here. And he shows that he is Scarfed. So I was really stupid on my behalf. I still didn't really have anything to switch into it because Tangrowth was weakened. So there's nothing I could really do, but I'm still fine with this because Thundurus did its job. It weakened the Venusaur, so now that, and it also got a lot of damage off on Magneton, to the point where Meloetta is close to being able to kill it with a Psychic. I ran Calx, and Psychic's doing about 40 to 48, so I have to force this thing in 2 more times and make it take rocks twice more, and then I just sweep his team with, and also get a little more damage on Blastoise, and then I just sweep his team with Scarf Meloetta. So I'm just going to go into Nidoqueen, because, yeah, and he can't kill me with the Scarf Flash Cannon, and I'm going to be able to kill something with 2 Earth Powers. So he's going to go into Blastoise, and I know this thing's going to be Assault Vest. And as you'll see, it takes an Earth Power. It takes 25% from a Life Orb Earth Power. That's insane. So definitely glad I brought Super Fang. That was good prep on my behalf. And here I know that he could be packing Aqua Jet, but I don't. But taking Nidoqueen out of this game puts me in a bad spot, and I also really don't want him to Rapid Spin because it makes taking out his Magneton a little more annoying. So I'm going to stay in. I was pretty confident I could take a Torrent boosted Aqua Jet from a non-offensive Blastoise anyways, and I'm going to prevent his spin. And now it is 4-on-3, and I'm confident that I can win this game now with Meloetta. He's going to go into Mienshao. I still want Nidoqueen around because it stops his Magneton from spamming Electric, and it outspeeds and kills his Venusaur from where he is. So I want both of those things to be able to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and fodder off my Heracross here, which I thought was my best play. There's no downside to it unless I missed a Mega Horn on a Venusaur switch in. So he's going to fake out and kill me, and that's fine, because now I go into Meloetta, and I claim a life, basically, because I 2-hit KO Magneton from where he is. If he goes into Magneton here, the game absolutely ends. Fake out only does 20-something%, so I'm just going to click Psychic, and now that Venusaur dies, he figures that I'm Scarfed, and this is where he says GG, because he can't take the game at this point unless he haxes me. So this thing is out of range of a Psychic. I don't want to take any hit from this because I want to be able to take a crit fake out from that Mienshao. So I'm just going to go into Tangrowth as he goes for the Signal Beam, and he gets the Confusion. Doesn't matter in the slightest to me. I don't care at all. I'm foddering off my Tangrowth, and now that he's locked into Signal Beam, there's no way that he can kill off my Nidoqueen, and I can click Earth Power, and the game will essentially end because either this thing dies or his Mienshao dies, and neither of which, if he fodders off this thing, then I win with Meloetta. If he fodders off his Mienshao, then I win with Meloetta either way. So he's going to let this thing die. And all he has left is that Mienshao. He knows I'm Scarfed, I know I'm Scarfed, I know he's not Scarfed, so I'm going to win the game with Meloetta as I'm going to let my Nidoqueen die. Literally absolutely no reason at all to try and save differential because I just need this win. As Nidoqueen dies, if he missed a high jump kick there, it would have just only made the differential 1 point better. But I'm just going to drop in Meloetta, click Psychic, and the game ends with a 1-0 victory for me. So that was the tightest game I've probably ever played in at least a long time, if not further. I don't have very many 1-0s, but this game was intense. And that makes the playoff picture for next week crazy. Absolutely insane. So I'll show you guys the thing in a minute. And also, Meloetta, in the 3 games I brought it to, is 11-2, which is actually insane. So I'm going to show you guys the league chart, the league table, and show you guys how close this shit is right now, which is insane. So, yeah, right now, because I only got a 1-0 win, I was not able to surpass him. I needed a 2-0 to tie him, which would have put me on top because of head-to-head, I think. And I needed a 3, or I don't know, maybe it's alphabetical, or I needed a 3-0 to surpass Robin. But this is still okay because, as you can see, Pierre is in first place. He's 7-1. It's almost guaranteed that he is going to be in playoffs, I think. Actually, it's not guaranteed, but basically next week is going to decide both playoff spots. Nobody has clinched, which is insane, because Robin and Pierre play, and me and Bluesy play. So basically all I have to do is beat Bluesy, and I'm guaranteed a playoff spot, because if Robin loses, then Pierre is still in first place, and I will have more wins than Robin, so I will move into second place. If Robin wins, then if Robin loses, if Robin wins and I win, I will surpass Pierre because of differential, since we would both be 7 and 2. Because right now we're tied, so if he loses any differential and I gain any differential, or even if he just loses any and I win 0-0, I'm still going to be put into second place. And there's the chance that if Robin wins by a small margin and I beat Bluesy by a large margin, then I could finish in first place, which would be ideal, but I'm not too worried. I finished in second place last season, which was fine, but holy shit, this is 40 minutes long. Sorry about that, but yeah, next week determines everything, and that's fucking insane. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and also let's move that over. I want to show you something. Fudge. Look at that. Meloetta, number 4 in the MVP chart. 11 and 2. That's beautiful. Okay, that's pretty cool. And also, Manaphy. I also have Manaphy and Megalop in the top 20, which is neat. So, next week, last week of the GPC regular season, if I win, I'm in playoffs. If I lose, tough shit, I'm not in playoffs. So, that's what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for sticking around for 41 and a half minutes of me blabbing. And I will see you guys later. Bye.